Hello, our topic today is overwhelm. And if you've been experiencing any overwhelm when it comes to growing, building your business, getting new clients, then I'm here to help. You are going to love today's topic. Now, I'm laughing because there is quite a bit of background noise. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it happens to be very windy outside my office today. But I decided to go ahead and do this anyway because you know what? We don't wait for conditions to be perfect before we take action. So I am here taking imperfect action with the sound effects. I hope you enjoy them. It is a little bit like the opening scenes of The Wizard of Oz out there, but hey, it all adds to the fun. So back to today's topic. We're talking about overwhelm. And there probably isn't a day goes by that I don't meet someone who tells me that they're feeling overwhelmed. And a typical conversation, I reckon I have this conversation every week, is I meet someone who says, Bernadette, I've got this big vision for what I want to create. I know I have something that makes a difference to people, and I know that I want to have a membership program, and I want to write a book, and I can see myself doing live events and reaching thousands of people all over the world. But right now I have barely any clients and I don't know where to start. I don't know how I create this. So if you can relate to that, then know that I've been there myself, and today is going to be super, super practical. I'm actually going to give you things today that you can start using today. And I promise you, if you take this on board and you implement them, you are going to feel less overwhelmed within the next 7 days. I absolutely promise. And these are things that I used to help myself get out of overwhelm. In fact, some of the questions I have to share with you today helped me to triple my business the first year I started applying them. So I'm super, super excited to bring this to you. And yeah, let's get started. So first of all, what does overwhelm look like? Well, overwhelm is when there's something that you maybe want to create or achieve, but you're telling yourself things like, I don't know where to start. I'm confused. This feels like too much. And notice if you're saying it's too much, the flip side of that is what you are actually saying is, I don't have enough, or I'm not enough. So I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough skills, or I don't have enough resources. That's always the flip side. That's always the unspoken side of it's too much. And none of these things are actually true. You are more than enough to make the difference that you came here to make. And so what the overwhelm is it's almost like a little distraction. It's a place our brain wants to take us that actually diverts our attention from the fact that actually you do have everything you need right now to show up and serve and make a difference to the people in the world who need your help and get rewarded for it right here, right now. And so I just want to talk about why it's so important that we overcome overwhelm. And the thing is, overwhelm is what's getting between you making the difference that you came here to make. I believe that you have a contribution to make. I believe that you have value to offer people in the world. And yet when you are in that space of overwhelm in terms of, I don't know where to start, I can't, it's too much, what happens is you end up in either inaction, you're not taking action, or you're taking ineffective action. And you're taking ineffective action because often when you're overwhelmed, it's like you try something, then the moment that gets difficult, then you jump to the next thing, then the next thing. And so you end up spinning, this feeling of like spinning your wheels, but you're not really going anywhere. You're not getting traction. You're not getting into momentum. And so that's what we can start to solve today. We can start to solve it with simple things. I've got 3 simple things that I want to offer you that can really shift this. And I want you to know that I'm here not just for you. I'm here. This is part of my purpose. I'm here to help you connect with the people in the world that you're meant to be serving. That's one of the things that drives me, because I truly believe there are people out there right now who need, want, desire your help, but you're not going to get to help them if you're staying stuck in overwhelm. So it's important that we really make a commitment to shifting this. So if you are committed to eliminating overwhelm, shifting out of overwhelm, drop me a yes in the comments below. Okay, so what are the 3 things that I want to share with you about getting out of overwhelm? Well, the first thing is a little thought that will really help you when you are starting to feel overwhelmed. And so you might want to put this on a post-it note, or you might want to make it a screensaver on your phone or your computer, or put it somewhere where you're just going to have this reminder, is you don't need to do it all now. In fact, some of the things that you're telling yourself you need to do, you may not need to do them at all. So you've probably heard of the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle is the 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule is it's 20% of the things that we do that actually produces 80% of our results. And that means 80% of what we're spending our time on is only contributing to 20% of results. And when I really first started applying this in my business and started to get really curious about, okay, what is the 20% that's really going to move the needle? That helped me to get so much more effective in my business. And so I'm just going to keep this simple. I'm just going to help you get clear on what the 20% is, where you really need to focus right now. Because if you are at less than 100K in the income level in your business, I can tell you right now, there are only two things that you should be prioritizing. Two. One of them is generating leads, and the other one is converting those leads into paying business. So you don't need to be running challenges or launching a book or starting a podcast or a channel. Yes, all of those things you could say, well, they are going to help generate leads in the long term. But one of the things that will really help you get out of overwhelm is to really condense the timeline, to really look at what's going to make the difference this week. So 2 questions to ask yourself when you are starting to look at all of the things that you think you need to do. So make a list of all the things you need to do, and then start to go through them one by one and ask yourself this question. Will this help me generate more leads this week? Will this help me convert interest into paying business this week? And if it won't, then just strike it out. You don't have to do it. You definitely don't have to do it right now. You can just take it off the list for right now. And what this is going to do is it's going to take your attention away from all the things you think you have to be doing. And what it's going to leave behind is actual things that are going to move the needle and get some traction for you this week. So you can start to see results. So you can start to have that dopamine effect of generating results and focus on what's working. There's a saying that I saw on Facebook once, which is, when things aren't adding up in your life, it's time to start subtracting. And that's what these 2 questions do. They become a filter to help you eliminate all of the things that aren't necessary right now. Yes, they may be things for the long term. They may be worthy in the long term, but they do not need your attention this week. They don't need your attention today. So that's going to help clear a lot of the things that you're telling yourself you need to do, or you need to attend to, or you need to figure out this week, but you really don't. And telling yourself you need to do those things is at the expense of where you really do need to and can focus your attention in the area that's going to get results. So if you're less than 100K, those are the 2 questions. Now, if you're more than 100K and you're looking to scale your business, it's a different set of questions, but that's not the purpose of this video. Notice I'm focusing on where we're focusing, but you can feel free, if you're curious about that and you're at that level, feel free to reach out. Okay, so second thing that you need to do, I have a program called Simple 100K. And one of the sayings that I have in this program is start where you are. So one of the things that can contribute to overwhelm or can leave us feeling disempowered in terms of the things that we have to do is we're telling ourselves we should be in a different starting place. So we're telling ourselves there's lots of stuff that we need to get figured out before we can even start. And actually, that's not true. What that's doing is it's turning your attention away from what can you do right now to move forward. And what this means is, it gets you focused on what you can actually do versus spending all of your time thinking about what you can't do. So if you notice, when you're thinking about overwhelm, one of the thoughts that's when you're in overwhelm, one of the thoughts that keeps you in overwhelm is the thought, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough skill. I don't have enough knowledge. All of those things keep you in overwhelm. And actually what you want to do is start to to focus your brain and focus your attention on what do you have right here, right now. What do you have? So that's the first question. First question is to, when you notice that you're starting to get into overwhelm, you'll start saying there's too much and I've got all these things to do, bring your attention back to what do I have right now? What do I have? Then the next question to ask yourself is, who needs my help? Who can I serve right now? Because the bottom line is this: there are people in the world right here, right now, who you can help, who you can serve, and some of them could be your next paying client. But when you're caught up in the thinking of, I don't have, I'm not enough, this is too much, it keeps you away from serving that person. So I want to ask you questions, or get you thinking about questions that are going to direct your attention back to who can you help right now. And you do have what it takes. You might be comparing yourself to someone who's more established in the industry or has maybe got more experience than you. And you might be telling yourself, well, I'm not as good as them and I need to get as good as them before I can start serving clients. But at every stage of the journey, there are people who need your help. So you might say, oh, well, I'm a relative beginner in this industry, but actually you're in a perfect place to help someone who is new, because your experiences are much more relevant to that person than someone who's more seasoned and established. So I'll recap on the questions in a moment, but I'm just going to keep going through them. Great question. One that I have people in my Simple 100K group ask themselves as a course of habit: what can I do today to make myself more visible and valuable to my target audience? Now, this is also going to help you in terms of the generating leads question that I asked in the previous point. What can I do today to make myself more visible and valuable to my target audience? You ask yourself this question, and your brain will start coming up with answers that will point you in direction of effective actions that you can take right now. What can I do to book consultations with potential clients? So I mentioned earlier, there's two things that you need to focus on if you're at less than 100K in your business. You need to generate leads, and you need to focus on turning those leads into paying clients and customers. And one of the mechanisms to do that, in fact, the best mechanism if you're at less than 100K in your business, is having one-to-one sales conversations. Sales consultations where you learn about a person's needs, and then you match what you have to offer to what they need. That is one of the highest leverage things that you can do at your stage of business, and it is going to be the biggest payoff of time that you can get. So it's one of the reasons in Simple 100K, one of the first things I have people do is calculate how many sales calls they have to have each week to reach their business goals, to make their business goals inevitable, and then they are working the plan to book those calls each week. So next question, and this will also help with conversion: how can I help potential clients to see the value that I have to offer? Now, that is a presupposition in that you do have value to offer, because I know that you do. You do have value. Whatever the story you've been telling yourself, whatever your experiences up until now, you have a difference to make. And so the next question is, how can you help more people see that? And that's going to help you with your conversion. So what we're really talking about here is we're talking about doing what you can with what you've got where you are. So notice what this concept of starting where you are, it is redirecting your attention from all the things that you think you have to do that feels like too much, and it's bringing your attention back and your energy and your focus back to what you can do right now in this moment. And when your brain tries to sell you on that idea of, well, you're not enough, just don't buy it. Just because your brain offers it to you doesn't make it true, and it doesn't mean you have to believe it. Okay, the third thing that I want to offer you to help you to get out from overwhelm is to replace FOMO with JOMO. FOMO, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out is what keeps us distracted by all the bright, shiny objects. We're telling ourselves a story that all those people over there have something that we don't have over here, something that we need, or something that's going to move things fast for us. But what if that isn't true? What if you could actually start to get as much pleasure from saying no to things as you do from just, checking things out all the time. Because our brain does like the sort of new and different. Our brain gets a nice little dopamine hit when there's something new and different coming along. And so it does take a little bit to start to remind ourselves, actually, no, what I've got is more than enough. I'll share a funny story. You probably know, because I do share this quite a lot, but I lost a significant amount of weight in 2022. In fact, today I've lost 75 pounds. But there were lots of things that, lots of new skills that I learned on that journey. But one of them was that I learned to get as much pleasure from leaving food on my plate as I had previously had from finishing my plate. So I basically developed a habit of clearing my plate. I had a lot of conditioning around that. And I started to associate pleasure with what was being left on the plate. So I'm offering you this. I used to look at it and go, those are calories that used to go into my body, and I used to wear an extra pounds, and I don't need to eat them today. That feels really good. So I want to offer you that as a metaphor that when things are coming along, bright, shiny objects, distraction, you can actually get pleasure from saying, oh, that used to be the thing that distracted me. That used to be the thing I would then put on my mental to-do list, thinking that was something else that I need to figure out or learn or understand. And actually, I can take total pleasure right now from saying, no, if it doesn't relate to generating more clients this week, generating more leads this week, or converting leads into paying business this week, which, by the way, guys, is how you're going to get more clients this week, I don't need to know about it right now. So the two questions: will this help me to generate more leads this week? Will this help me to convert those leads into paying clients this week? You keep your attention focused on those, and it will take away all of the other things that are currently overwhelming you. You don't need to think about them right now. And the cool thing is, this is a skill. This is a habit that you can develop. So if up until now, if you've been feeling a lot of overwhelm, it's because you have been adding things to your to-do list, even subconsciously, without evaluating them. And I've given you a filter today, 2 powerful questions that will really help keep your attention on where you need to focus right now versus all the things that you've been telling yourself you have to do. And I just invite you to put this into practice. Just give it a chance for 7 days and notice the difference it makes. So if you are committed to trying this out for the next 7 days, again, drop me a big hell yeah in the comments below so I can check up with you and check in with you and see how it's going. Now, the final thing that I want to say to you is, if this is resonating with you, and if the idea of getting very focused on simple ways to grow your business effectively and doing it without overwhelm, and doing it in a sustainable way because you're not burning yourself out with excess activities or work, if this appeals to you, then I would really love to talk to you about Simple 100K. And Simple 100K is the program that I developed after 20 years of helping people to get more clients and grow their business. And I really have distilled the process down into the simple things to where you do need to focus your attention right now that will get results. I have clients in Simple 100K getting extraordinary results. Some of them soaring well past 100K in their results right now. Our latest member made 5,000 in her very first month in the program. It is the most effective program I've ever offered, and I would love to have the chance to explore it with you if it's resonating. So the way to do that is you book a call with me. And to do that, you can come to bernadettedoyle.com. You'll see there a link there to book a call. And yeah, we could talk about simplifying things for you, getting things off your to-do list, getting really clear about what you think you need to do versus where you actually need to focus to really get results. But most importantly, the point of that conversation is about helping you to connect with the people who are already out there that need your help, because they are out there already and they're closer than you think. And converting that potential into paying business is closer than you think also. So if that's resonating, do come along and book a call to talk to me, and we can have a chat about you joining Simple 100K. All right, that is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's given you tons of insights. I do hope you'll take the questions up and put them into practice for the next 7 days. And I'll see you next week. Take care.